Hello everyone, it's Gwethon from Gwethon's Games, and today I'm going to be running the Harrowing of Morgul. And I'm going to be running it instead of solo. I'll be running it in the 2-player or duo, and I will be running it on the character's current level. So, I'll just get straight into that. Now, I'm running it with my yellow line captain, essentially because my red line captain can't do this instance with it in 2-player mode with on level. My red line captain isn't able to stay alive long enough to be able to complete the instance to do the bosses, whereas there's more parry, evade and defense block in the yellow line version of this character. So I'm interested to know when the update to update 35 comes out whether I can go back as a red line captain and actually do the Harrowing of Morgul. So that's what I'm running. I've got over here what the character is running, so all fairly standard. Actually, more a red line build, but I've actually got a bit of area of effect healing, but I've got Shadow's Lament, which I really should be changing. But with any luck, when update 35 comes out and they redo the captain and boost the captain's DPS a little bit, I'm hoping that I will be able to run the Harrowing of Morgul with this character on level as a 2-player instance. We will see. But as it is, I can get through with the yellow line, so let's run it with the yellow line. I better actually, I've got my archer, and I should use the shield brother and the motivating speech. Okay, so let's go. Now, the problem with running yellow line is I've lost about 30% of my damage, my DPS, but I have much higher sustain, so much higher healing, much more block, much more parry, and I can get through it. Now, you might be wondering why you would run the Harrowing of Morgul. I'm assuming that most of you have actually done it, or at least tried it, with all your characters that are over level 121. The short answer is, if you're running it solo, then there's not a lot of drops. But if you run the 2-player version of this, there is quite a large number of drops that will gradually happen. There's 2 bosses in this, and they will eventually drop. So every jewelry piece except the pocket item I've seen drop on the duo version of this. Now the eye level, the item level is down a little bit compared to the Gundabad drops eye level for the same character level of instance, but being down a little bit when you're actually struggling getting gear in the Fate of Gundabad expansion anyway, just a little bit of an eye level drop just to be able to get all of the jewelry except the pocket, and also the leggings and feet items also drop. I'll put a list of what drops, or a basic list of what drops in the description, but it's all the earrings, all the rings, bracelets, and the feet and leggings. Now there may be more that drops. Now most of the duo or two-man versions of the Minas Morgul instance cluster don't drop anything, but there are two, and if you're still listening to this, then I will tell you what they are. So the Roost, Shadow's Roost, drops, and it's a relatively fast instance, and it will drop, by the looks of it, the same gear that this instance drops. Running it on level is a nice way of getting some extra gear. Sergeants take a while, and as I said, with the lower DPS, this is going to take a little bit of time, but it's more reliable. Now I could change over to Redline just to show how much faster it is, because my DPS is at 40,000, so I might just flip that over to Redline. Okay, so I'm basically doing a full red line don't need that because not running it in instance. I'm not dropping either of the flags. Okay, I've got to bring the Shield Maiden back. Okay, I'll bring a different archer. That's okay. But now we'll see. So I've been running at 41,000. We'll see what that goes up to. As I said, I will have to drop that back. Yeah, you can see that my damage, my hit points, my morale, different games, different names, is definitely going down more. But I am doing a little bit more DPS, and just give me a little bit of time to get used to it again. Different build, different combination. So this time cutting edge, cutting attack and grave wound in combination, spread and area of effect damage, which is what I want. I've got more abilities to actually use to burn things down, but I do have to worry more about running out of morale. You can see it's now running a little bit closer. I will be happy, as I said, to see that change in the next expansion. As long as I remember to move back when got to make sure I get that cutting attack and then the grave wound in combination. But you can see I'm now doing 50,000 on average. But I'm much more likely to die, and I have to keep that healing up. as I said, I will be happy when I'm able to get away with okay, so there's the archer. Now I could change over, rather than using the archer, I could use a better buff character, but I'm happy using the archer, just getting that little bit of extra DPS. But you can see it's a much harder, well, it's faster, but it's a harder slog to get to work through. Whereas the yellow line, I don't have to worry about my health, my morale. It takes care of itself. But you can see I actually had to do a potion to be able to get through one of these, just the mob itself. That's okay. Okay, 52,000. Okay, so as I said, that's an extra 20% damage, which is nice. Now I'm coming up to the boss, and I'm going to have to go back to yellow line. Because there's no way that this character would be able to survive against a real boss, because I'm having trouble with the mobs themselves. So I'll change back over to yellow line again and call in the Bow Maiden and line it up with the better defensive version, and we'll go in and we'll say hello to the first of the bosses. So it was 52. And now we're going to have a bit of a change, but you'll see the difference on the actual health. Okay, so no longer have to, the cutting attack is no longer as effective. But you can see the health is staying right up, which is great. And I'm going to have to worry about that, the fire. But I'm now taunting, so it should be okay. I should be able to move out of that. But yes, well, I'm actually doing 50,000, which is nice. Because I'm hitting absolutely everything, so let's get out of the fire. I'm aggroing, so it should be fine. Yeah, keep pulling him out of that. Stun. Go for a bit of extra defense. Get out of the fire. going to lose a bit more fire, so I'm going to have to get out of the way again. Healing required. Okay, need to use the more defensive abilities. Now this would be easier if it wasn't two-player, the two-player version. It would be easier if it wasn't on level. You can run it at different levels. There we go. Okay, so would not have made that in yellow line, but I will be interested to see how we go. Okay, but the gear that drops, it's a silver chest. And we have a bracelet, hardened bracelet, which is nice. And I will replace my level 130 bracelet with a now level 135 bracelet. And that's the ticket. So it's a nice little upgrade for my character, and we will continue on. Now, I was able to do that at 49,000, but that's because I was able to ramp everything up. And now I will go back to red line, and we will continue. Okay, bring back the archer, blade brother, and the motivating speech, and we'll continue on. There's not much to go beyond this now. Oh, I forgot to do it in the right order. That's always the way. Still have to use everything, but I'll use it on the sergeant. Oh, actually, I haven't got the sergeant up. I'll use it on the sergeant. So I'm still putting out the same DPS, which is good. I'm actually taking a lot more damage because I'm not running yellow line, but it's there. It's good enough. And we'll go on to the next one. We got the other one as well. So it's good. I'm managing to keep 50,000, which is what you'd expect, I suppose. I'm sure that there'll be people out there that'll be able to tell me how to min-max that a little bit better, but it's the way it goes. And we move on to the next one. Get that cutting attack and grievous wound going. Shadow's Lament being used, which is what I've got in the actual LI use, and we're up to the sergeant. Okay, sergeant, let's have a bit of fun. Now, there are a number of characters that just can't do these on-level instances, or not easily enough. And they are all the ones that do not have self-healing. Okay, I've got to get the archer into this. All the ones that don't have self-healing have all sorts of troubles running on level with have trouble running on level with this amount of damage being dealt by all the critters around you. So burglar can't do it. The hunter actually can't do it because it just takes too much damage even in endurance mode. But okay, so we are up to the last boss, so I will flip back to yellow again. Okay, I will bring in I may as well bring in some more mitigations. The Herald. Okay, and we will run into battle. Make sure the Herald's in, but let's have some fun. Again, you can see that the amount of damage I'm actually taking is being healed reasonably well by the yellow line version. He's going to call more ads in, but I do have enough to be able to deal with them, so they should start falling. I'll keep going on the main, on the boss. As you can see, it really has so much better defense than the red line. I'm using exactly the same gear, but this time with yellow line, the two-handed sword actually gets its block ability, whereas I wouldn't have the block ability. I need to put some extra defense in. Okay, where are we? And we're getting there. So it's a bit slow, but the gear that drops is on level. We'll see what drops this time. And as I said, you can do this for, there we go, you can do this for the Rune Keeper, you can do it for, okay, so, and we'll see what drops. Now, they're silver chests, so I will explain the silver chests as soon as I've opened this up. Okay, so I've got Ithilgard crafting components, which gives me some nice gear with the one you're either going to use the parchment or the steel, I'd say, but it's nice. It gives you the Minas Ithil Preserve, which is good for that. Now it's dropped a stud, which I'm going to swap for. Ooh, I might not swap that actually. Fairly close, but I won't swap that. And it's dropped an ancient script, which I will get some ancient script for. Oh, sorry. But that is the Harrowing of Morgul. Thank you for watching. It dropped 2 items which were of use. An earring and a bracelet, which is good, and it gave me the option of replacing some gear. It goes all the way up to level 140 and it starts at level 121. Now, what I also will do is show you where the raid locks are. So I've previously run the King's Chest, which is the Chamber of Shadows, and that will reset. The solo version of that will reset at the when the server resets, so when you get the next Hobbit present. And these are the 2 silver chests, which will also reset in 3 hours' time, which is when the server, as I said, the server Hobbit presents turn up. Okay, so some of these are not every day, so you can run these all these daily. But yeah, some of the others you have a limited number per week. But thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye all.